Some of us may need help to become acquainted with the various types of fish that exist. This is why the list of fish we most commonly know includes goldfish, betta, freshwater shrimp, and others that are very easy to remember. And because of this, the tendency to be amazed by the newly encountered fish in our fish keeping journey often occurs. Some beginners fish keepers like this fish may mistake this for a variant of goldfish or any other fish they know, as I initially did. But this is not a variant because dwarf cichlids do not belong to a specific scientific group. That's right, this fish is the dwarf cichlid that you probably haven't heard of before, but now you do. These fish are colorful and small and thrive in community tanks that belong to the Cichlidae family. Dwarf cichlids become popular due to their manageable size, bright features, peaceful nature, and ease of breeding. However, many of these species, like most African and South American cichlids, are notorious for displaying aggressive behavior. But don't judge them quickly. We have no idea what mountains they have moved in their lives that made them develop their anger management issues. Anyway, to assist you in finding the right dwarf cichlid for your tank, allow me to introduce you to the top 7 dwarf cichlids that you will want to add to your tank. Dwarf cichlids are extraordinarily colorful and mostly peaceful species that are simple to keep if you educate yourself about their various species. To identify which cichlids are considered dwarf, they should fall under 5 inches in length. Most dwarf cichlids had similar tank setups and considerations that are easy to maintain once initial conditions have been met. With so many different species, getting started can be challenging. But worry no more, because here are the top 7 types you should know if you want these fish in your tank. Oops, before we continue this video, you can make this dwarf cichlid smile if you give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more exciting and fun facts about the fish keeping hobby. The Cockatoo Dwarf Cichlid. Apistogramma cockatoids take the top spot on our list. Because of the availability and low cost of these most colorful cichlid species, this fish has become one of the most traded species in the hobby. This species, males and females, have very natural green and tan coloration on the body with a black mid-lateral line. The males appear impressive due to their long, fiery red fins, which might symbolize their level of aggressiveness, especially during breeding seasons, making other predatory fish scared because this dwarf cichlid will no doubt defend their nest to death. Going to the second entry in our list, meet the Redfin 3-striped dwarf cichlid, Apistogramma trifasciata. In contrast to the cockatoo, this dwarf cichlid has brightly colored skin and nearly transparent fins with a hint of red. Redfin, the 3-striped dwarf cichlid's male version, has a bright bluish-green color with signature black dorsal and mid-lateral lines. While the female may turn wholly yellow and are relatively more minor, these dwarf cichlids can be very aggressive during spawning periods and prone to aquarium diseases and infections. So, you must expect to take care of them thoroughly. The well-known ram cichlid will serve our top 3 in this spot. These fish, which may also be labeled German blue rams, are prevalent in the hobby due to the best colors they can provide. The regular variation of the ram cichlid is still just as colorful, though wild individuals are the most colorful. Its male version is light blue or yellow, with a vertical black line over the eye and a black spot in the middle of the body. In comparison, females are smaller overall and have shorter bodies when paired with male ones. A compromised immune system also makes these fish more challenging to keep than some of the other cichlids on this list. Kribensis is another dwarf cichlid you can explore having. Despite being native to Western Africa, where the water is more complicated and more alkaline, these dwarf cichlids are found in softer and more acidic tributaries, which makes them prefer water parameters that are almost identical to those commonly found in South American dwarf cichlids. Kribensis is one of the easiest species to breed. Both males and females are yellowish, with females slightly more vivid. They both have dorsal and mid-lateral black stripes with a reddish hue to their bellies. However, this herbivorous strict-diet dwarf cichlid is more prominent than some other nano species, so it better finds the right tank size to match. If you like smaller species of pandas inside your aquarium, the Panda Dwarf Cichlid is a suitable dwarf species. These fish get their name from their black markings, which resemble those of panda bears. However, these fish are not white and black, but yellow and black. Perfect specimens will have rounded black patches on their cheeks, mid-bodies, and right before their caudal fins. They will also have splashes of black at the front of their dorsal fins and on both sides pelvic fins. Panda Dwarf Cichlids are not widely found, though their care requirements are nearly identical to other Apistogramma dwarf species. This next dwarf cichlid in our list does not have a rainbow feature but is named after one. Confusing indeed. Meet the rainbow cichlid. These fish are bright yellowish-orange with blue accents on the tips of their fins. Rainbow cichlids are much stockier than the other dwarf cichlids on this list and can grow slightly more significantly. These dwarf cichlids originate from Central America, though most specimens are now captive breed. Because of this, they have acclimated to most standard aquarium water parameters. They're also very hardy fish, can stand meaty and plant-based foods, and can, interestingly, create sounds underwater using their own swim bladders. Another dwarf cichlid with a name that's difficult to articulate appropriately, Caudopunctatus Cichlid, Neolamprologus caudopunctatus. These fish, which are delicate in color and appearance, originate from the complex and essential waters of Lake Tanganyika in Africa. The high pH in their natural habitat limits the fish tankmates that can be added to the aquarium. As a result, the Caudopunctatus Cichlid is usually paired with other fish from Lake Tanganyika. These African dwarf cichlids have a light pink body with yellow fins lined with orange and a very streamlined body shape compared to South American dwarf cichlids. They are substrate spawners too, meaning they will either build a pit to lay their eggs in or rely on the already available structures. This makes breeding the Caudopunctatus cichlid more complex than other cichlids, though they have been successfully spawned in the aquarium hobby. As a result, plant selection is also limited. If you're wondering which cichlid is the easiest to keep among them all in terms of real dwarf cichlids, most species you come across will be easy to care for. But many hobbyists will highly recommend Kribensis or a species of Apistogramma or a first-time edition. In general, most dwarf cichlids are peaceful species. The key to keeping dwarf cichlids happy is giving them the right tank conditions and tank mates, so they never feel threatened or stressed. Some species can still display aggressive and territorial behavior, but often only during spawning periods. Speaking of tank condition, you should also know some of the basic dwarf cichlids in tank setup. Most dwarf cichlids require at least a 10-gallon tank, the smallest size possible. But if you want pairs in your tank, you may opt to get at least 20 gallons and above. The best community tank mates for the dwarf cichlids are each other and those flashed on your screen. Since dwarf cichlids originates from calm waters with dense vegetation and a sandy substrate, they will probably need this same environment inside the tank. Dwarf cichlids can be messy eaters, so a powerful filter with a slow return is required. The bottom of their tank can be covered with leaf litter and other detritus, which they will genuinely appreciate since dwarf cichlids largely stay in the middle and bottom layers of the water column. You may also add plenty of caves and hiding places in the shape of driftwood, rocks, and terracotta pots for territory and spawning purposes. Be warned that any aquatic plants and decorations added to the aquarium may be dug up and moved based on the preferences of your fish. Dwarf cichlids also appreciate dimmed lighting. If you keep more light-demanding plant species, this can become a problem. A simple solution may be adding floating plants or aquascaping the aquarium for designated background, midground, and foreground species. Foods are also crucial for these dwarf cichlids. However, you should not be concerned about finding the right food for them because most dwarf cichlids are tolerant of a wide range of foods. These fish are primarily carnivores and will appreciate an array of live, frozen, and freeze-dried foods like brine shrimp, worms, and various fresh seafood. Feeding dwarf cichlids a high-quality diet will promote spawning and keep your fish as colorful as possible. However, dwarf cichlids are generally messy when eating, so removing uneaten food is essential. If you want to expand their species in your aquarium, Breeding will almost certainly occur. To start breeding these beautiful fish, you will need a bonded pair, a densely planted aquarium, and available cave systems. Provide a high-quality diet to promote spawning. Most dwarf cichlids are cave spawners, meaning they'll claim structured spawning sites throughout the tank to raise their young. The male will make attempts to court the female fish. If successful, the female will lay eggs on the sides of the cave, where the male will then fertilize them. For the most part, female dwarf cichlids will guard the eggs and raise the fry, though the male may help at times. Some species may eat their young after hatching. Provide small foods for the fry to eat and remove once they are independent of their parents. These top 7 dwarf cichlids available in the hobby are naturally highly colorful, but they are not the easiest fish to keep. They will thrive with stability and care. Dwarf cichlids are perfect fish for hobbyists looking to advance past the beginning stages of fish keeping. Many South American and African dwarf cichlids can fill a tank with color while allowing other fish species to thrive. Breeding dwarf cichlids can also be incredibly exciting and rewarding. If you want to know more about these exciting fish, you can visit our website at aquariumstoredepot.com for more detailed information on different topics inside the fish keeping hobby. Also, remember to like this video and subscribe. Do you want to find yourself wanting to add this fish to your tank? If so, place the type of dwarf cichlid you wish to add in the comment section below. Keep on exploring, fish keepers. We'll see each other in the next video.